two, you're on.
All right. Well, good evening and good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Skultety. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. What an exciting event. I think I'm the last speaker at this event, but I've been up since the wee hours of Eastern Standard Time here in the US, watching some fabulous presentations. And I just want to thank Shaheen and this whole staff and everybody for having me. So it's a pleasure to be with you guys. I'm going to have a PowerPoint here. I'm just going to share some thoughts with you. Let me just pull this up here. There we go. So let me give you a little bit of background about myself. I'm 53 years old. I've been a lifestyle entrepreneur my entire life since the age of 10. And I've been in this industry of network marketing for a long time, 27 years. And it's been an amazing experience for me. I'm a family man. I have 3 amazing children. I'm proud to say that they're all network marketing babies, but they're now 16, 17, and 20 years old. I've had all kinds of peaks and valleys in my life, but I'm very fortunate. A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to put it all on paper. I authored a book called Ripple Marketing: How to Build It Huge in Network Marketing. And outside of networking, I got a life too. I've got passions centered around music. Love all kinds of physical activities, including playing golf. But I think where my primary focus and passion really has been over the years is helping people, control their own destiny. So, what I'd like to do is kind of give you a little bit of background on my journey in network marketing, because I think there's a couple of lessons to be learned from it. Number one, I don't think I was your stereotypical prospect when somebody reached out to me. As a matter of fact, I was reached out to a friend of my father's from his country club back in the early 90s. And at the time, I was pretty deep into a Wall Street career. I was working for a major Wall Street bank in their asset management division. And I didn't know what I was being introduced to. Again, this was pre-internet, pre-Facebook, pre-social media. I didn't really know what it was, but I agreed to sit down with him. And I sat down, and what he said to me kind of just made sense. And he said to me, Dave, you should come to a function that's next weekend and happen to be in Baltimore, Maryland, and come down, and the company's holding a function. Well, I took him up on that offer, and I went down to Baltimore, and I get into an arena there where there were 7,000 people. Imagine your first experience to network marketing with 7,000 people. It was pretty exciting. There were a lot of very positive people, excited people, and the energy was really high. And as I sat there during the day, they were doing some recognition, and one particular individual that was recognized was a guy that I remembered from college. And let's just say this wasn't the most studious guy that I knew. And when I saw him getting recognized for earning a 6-figure residual income, you know what I said? Probably something I think many of you would say. If he can do it, I can do it. So long and short of it is, I went to work, came back, and worked at this business for 4 years. Now get this. At the end of that 4-year period, my residual income was a whopping like $98 a month. Like, in other words, I was earning less than $100 a month after 4 years of effort. And again, I was making a very strong living with my Wall Street career, but you would think that most people would kind of quit during that aspect. But I didn't quit. I didn't quit at all. I just kind of kept on forging forward. But I did take some time off and go back to my career. But I want to share with you some of the reasons why I failed, because I think a lot of this, may be applicable to you. I mean, number one, I didn't do anything right. I think with hindsight, I did nothing right. I wasn't coachable. I didn't follow the system. My ego was way too big and thought that I can do it myself, and didn't realize it was a team building exercise. I certainly didn't talk to the right people. But as you see here on the slide here, it was really the mindset that I had, the action that I took, the team building that I didn't do because I didn't really have a team. And of course, you can't be a leader in this business if you don't lead yourself. So, it was a real challenge. And I hope many of you can relate to this. And I tell you this story because, first of all, you have to apply yourself in a business like this, right? And I know many of you, are kind of, you've been sitting here watching this conference, all these presentations, and there's all kinds of knowledge you've got here. But the key is applying that knowledge. And I'm not sure if I did that, because I actually went to some of the functions, but when I left the function, I just went off and did things on my own. So, but here's the thing. I ultimately really discovered my why. Now, this is something we talk about in business. You got to have a reason why you're doing it. You got to have a passion behind what you're doing. Well, at the time, I was making a good living, but I really wasn't really I didn't guess I didn't have enough drive in terms of going out and really succeeding in the business. But when my wife at the time came home and told me she was pregnant, that completely changed the dynamic. That completely changed the dynamic where I said, geez, now I'm going to have a serious responsibility. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to be present for children. Now, here's a photograph of my three children when they were younger. And I think a lot of people have different whys. I would just tell you, look, when in this business, don't just focus on the money, right? Don't focus on the shiny watches, the flashy cars, the big houses. I know that's a lot of great stuff, and people who are materialistic, they can want that. And honestly, coming from a Wall Street background, that was prevalent with everybody I worked with. But I came to the realization that the real value was being present. And that's where I really got it. And I went out and turned the corner. I got introduced to a company, and I did all the right things. You know, it took some time, but I got all the starting with getting a right mentor, learning the right had to take, getting the right mindset. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, but let me just show you a picture of my kids today. They've grown up. They've been network marketing showing the whole way. And I think one of the greatest things, you know, so many people ask me, what's the greatest reward that you've received from network marketing? By far, it's being present for the kids. And you know, I was a coach for my son's baseball all the way through high school, present for all the children's events. And some of you may be able to relate to this. Some of you may be looking in the rearview mirror thinking you did, but for those of you, especially in the millennial group, think about this. If you're going to have a family, this is one of the real powerful things about network marketing. Now let's kind of flash forward to 2020. Let's just say this has been an interesting year. This has been a really interesting. I don't think any of us could have made this up this time last year, looking at what 2020 was going to be. And it's very unfortunate. Lives have been lost. Jobs have been lost. People are walking around in fear. They can't pay their rent. They're losing jobs. I mean, it's a real challenge. But there's really two ways that you can look at this. You can look at the glass half full, or you can look at the glass, you know, half empty. And, you know, myself, my team leaders, we looked at it as an opportunity. And I got to tell you, you know, there's never been a better opportunity for network marketing. A lot of companies have seen significant growth in the first half of this year. And I think one of the reasons is people are captivated. People have been stuck at home. They're looking for additional ways to earn income. But here's the thing. It always comes down to timing. And I think the network marketing space, and I love what this organization is doing to kind of pull people together, to uplift the industry as large, because it can't be done by one individual. It has to be done as a group. And I've always believed that timing is everything. And for me and for you, it's time to paddle. You know, I don't know how many of you are surfers out there, but you know, if you want to catch a right wave, you got to catch it at the right time and put the right effort in, you know, as you get there and try to get up on your board. But the timing is really critical. And I think today, more than ever, people are really looking for that opportunity. So I would urge it, you know, create a sense of urgency in what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay. Because here's what I do know. Success loves speed. It loves speed. And we all know the power of a wave and how it comes, and you cannot stop it once it comes, but success loves speed. So if you create a sense of urgency into the last half of this year, fabulous things for happen. I'll tell you what I'm telling my team leaders is what we do over the next 4 months to end this year of 2020 will completely dictate the success we have or don't have, for that matter, in 2021. So I'm always forward thinking with things. I know many people out there, they're thinking about what they're going to do today, what they're going to do this week. Yes, you got to plan weekly and implement daily, but look into the future. Think of what you can be next year at this time. Now, to get things rolling, hey, listen, guys, we all know the deal. It all starts with you, and you have to make a decision. I have to make a decision. Each and every day we make decisions, okay? And those decisions start with sacrifice. There was a gentleman who spoke earlier today, I think it was Jared. You know, he talked about the importance of making a decision and making a sacrifice. It's not easy. No entrepreneurial endeavor is, and we're in the people business, so it's definitely not easy. But you may have to make a decision that you're going to make the sacrifice. You may have to make the decision that you're going to take the time to learn the skill sets. Maybe you need to kind of, you know, improve your communication skills. Well, if that's the case, you need to do it. Maybe you need to improve your presentation skills. If that's the case, then go out and do it, right? But I just want to tell you, it's okay to make mistakes. Make a decision. It's going to be okay to go out there and make mistakes. All right. But you have to make a decision, make it today. And then it comes down to that belief. And, we can all talk. Every presenter that's been at this conference can talk about the belief, and their belief is all sky high. It's easy to believe in your company. It's easy to believe in your products. But where the rubber really meets the road is believing in the profession in network marketing and believing in yourself. I'll tell you, there was earlier today, I saw another presenter talk about how to address people who are the naysayers, the people who don't really believe in network marketing. You need to lead with the benefits of what it is. People don't buy features, they buy benefits. Network marketing isn't a perfect medium, but I'll tell you what, it's a pretty darn good one. And if you just focus on people and helping other people, fantastic things can happen. So believe in the network marketing space. And then secondly, you got to believe in yourself that you can do it. Okay. The one thing I tell my children all the time, I've told them since they could speak and understand what I was saying, is don't let me believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And I'm happy to say that they've all grown up to pretty amazing young adults. I'm not going to take all the credit for that, but I do believe that the thing between our ears when it comes to mindset is a really powerful thing. And I think it's our obligation to really kind of not only get our own personal head straight, but help other people, go out and do the same. Now, in saying that, the other thing I'll talk about mindset is we all need to think bigger, guys. We all need to think much, much bigger. And I would really, as you kind of like look at your notebook, maybe over the next day or two, and you take some and think about what you heard, what you learned, I want you to cast a vision into the future of what you really want your life to be. And it doesn't have to be that poster board with all them, like I said, the houses and the cars. That's all great stuff. But whatever it may be, what is your vision for yourself? What is your vision for your team? What is your vision for your family? What do you really want? Because I think of one thing the COVID-19 thing has done is for a lot of people, it has made them aware that life could be short. Life is fragile. And we really have to think about that as we go out there to build our network marketing business. We got to understand where people are at and actually show them the light. And you can only do so when you have your own vision, and do it with purpose. There's a lot of reasons why people do things, but when you're on purpose and you have a purpose of why you're doing something, people are going to buy into it. They buy way more into your purpose. They're going to buy way more into your enthusiasm versus any knowledge that you can conjure up. And the one thing that I've learned, especially over the last couple of years from some of my mentors, is that if you can focus on having an impact for people and making an impact in people's lives, really great things can happen. So, think a little bigger. Think a little bigger in your life and for your business. Now, that's the mindset piece of this thing. The second kind of section or pillar, if you will, that I wrote about in my book was about taking action. And it's not about just any action, guys. I mean, look, there are a lot of people that go there and they're scrolling through their Facebook, they're scrolling through their Instagram, they're making posts, they're posting and praying, they're doing all kinds of things where they think they're actually doing the business. But I got to tell you, what I found in the last 6 months of this whole pandemic situation is people want to be connected. And the best way you can connect people is to pick up the phone, pick up the direct message, let them hear your voice, let them hear your passion, give them a call, ask how they're doing. Find out what they're doing, what's new in their life, how this has impacted them, and what they really want out of life. Okay? It's a really important dynamic. But as you're going out there and talking to people, because that's what you got to do in this business, guys. I think you all know that we have to connect. We have to talk to people. It's about connecting with the right people. That's one of the things that I didn't do properly when I first got involved in network marketing. Is I was just talking. There's three types of people. There's the people we look up to, right? And they're tend to people who've been maybe more successful than us. They're civic leaders, the leaders of the world. They're the people we look up to. Then there's our peers, the people we see eye to eye with. And there's the people that look up to us. Unfortunately, most people in network marketing, they reach down to talk to people versus reaching up. And I would really encourage you to think along the lines of recruiting up. Okay. Really think about that, because what it really comes down to is who you're getting involved. And here's the thing, you don't want to prejudge anybody. Those who you think will have an interest probably won't. Those who you think won't have an interest, they probably will. You never know where people are really at unless you ask the question. I hope that makes sense for everybody. So, so what other kind of actions? Well, you got to be making enrollments There's kind of three things. You're either telling the story or showing the plan, or you're not. You're either following up or you're not. You're either making enrollments or you're not. And when you make the enrollments, get the people started right, right? That's a really important factor in everything you're doing. But the bottom line is take action. As you're taking that action, this kind of goes back to the belief portion of things. When your belief is really high about the profession of network marketing and you're convicted of what this industry can provide, whether you've achieved it or not, when you're convicted about it, it's easy to tell story and it's easy to be fearless. This is the number one thing that stops people in life in general, but specifically in network marketing, is their fear. Their fear of rejection, their fear of objections, their fear of not being good enough. And believe it or not, some people have a fear of success. But I'm here to tell you, you have to be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Okay? Because when you're fearless, you can talk to just about anybody. People will feel your boldness, they'll feel your conviction, and they'll just feel your vibe. They'll feel your vibe, and it'll help you recruit up. But I got to tell you, that's one of the keys. I think you got to really focus on being fearless in what you're doing. Let's talk about the consistency factor. Again, some of these are really basics, guys, but here's the thing at the end of the day. You're either consistent or you're not. The way you go to bed with the mindset you have and your plans for the next day is the way you're going to wake up. And when you wake up, what you're doing, who you're talking to, how consistent you are in the process is going to make or break you every single time. You have to have that daily method of operation. And, it's not just centered around prospecting too, guys. It's centered around how you wake up, how you feed your brain, that personal development you may do in the beginning of the day. And of course, it comes down to who you're talking to, what you're doing, how are you empowering other people? It's a really, really important component here. Now, let's shift a little bit to the leadership piece here, because I think it's an important part. I think any of the presenters could speak volumes on leadership and what it really takes. But here's the one thing that I realized by default, by mistake, by falling on my own face, is that you can't lead anybody else until you lead yourself. John Maxwell wrote this book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And the 9th law is the law of magnetism. The law of magnetism pretty much states that leaders are magnetic, right? But we only attract people that are likes, people like ourselves. And so I'm not suggesting you go out there and, be anybody else. I think you have to authentically be yourself to be successful in this business. But what I am saying is you have to do the right things. You have to show up, whether it's the way you present yourself on social media, whether it's the way you present yourself and show up at an event, whether it's the way that you make that sacrifice for that new team member and get them started right. Maybe take the time to in other words, dare to care. Take the time to understand what's really driving that person. That's what differentiates the average person from the leadership. But if you become that leader that you want to attract, and you like hone in on those characteristics and you work on yourself, people are going to feel it. They're going to feel your vibration 100% of the time. One of the things that I did was I always made myself the issue. And I think it was my ego. But I got to tell you that you can't make yourself the issue in this business. And what I mean by that is it's not about whether you've succeeded or not. If you're watching this and you haven't succeeded, you're not making the income that you think you deserve or that you actually are trying to achieve, don't beat yourself up on it. Okay. What I found is most people, as a matter of fact, coming from a sales background, I came to the realization that most sales people don't necessarily succeed in network marketing. It's the teachers, the caregivers that really succeed because they understand the concept of serving other people. And if, as a leader, if you're looking to lead people, if you're looking to gain a following, the easiest way to do it is to go out and serve other people. Help people achieve what they're looking to ultimately achieve. Okay. And I think it's pretty basic stuff, but it's really, really the truth. I know with the organization that we're leading right now, it's all about servant leadership. It's all about helping other people, because that's what really makes this work. And I'll tell you what, when you help other people with their lives, they'll follow you forever, no matter where you go. Okay. This picture is kind of strange, but kind of funny at the same time. but I put it up here to make a point. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to face adversity. You're going to come up with challenges. The fact is, you need to learn how to deal with it. Okay. You're going to face objections. People are going to be naysayers. They're going to tell you you're not worthy. The people that love you the most are going to try to keep you from succeeding because they don't want you to succeed. I hate to say it, but it's the absolute truth. Okay. But the way that you address adversity with a positive attitude and realize that you're good enough and that you're doing the right thing and that you're on the right path, that's what's going to lead you to greatness in this business. Okay. And so I only put it up here just to recognize that it's not all about climbing to the top of the mountain and staying on the bottom, because things are going to change. Things are going to change. I represented a company for 22 years, and only last week did they make a decision that they were going to, go direct sales. Now I left that company. I stopped building that company, I should say 10 years ago, but 22 years. Okay. That's adversity. How are you going to deal with that? Okay. You got to turn the lemons kind of into lemonade. Now, you guys have learned a lot. Hopefully I kind of laid out a couple thoughts that may make you think a little bit. A lot of other fabulous presenters that shared their wisdom and their experience with me, lots of knowledge. But as the saying goes, knowledge isn't power, ladies and gentlemen. Applied knowledge is power. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how are you going to apply yourself in succeeding in this business? How are you going to apply the knowledge you've learned over the last 2 days, this amazing conference, and go out and apply it to your life, apply it to your teams, apply it to any individual you're going to go out and prospect tonight? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close with this slide. This is my youngest child. Gosh, isn't she amazing? It just personifies freedom. And I got to tell you, as I said earlier, I think time freedom is the currency of life. And so as you go out there to build your business, yeah, think about what you want and what you want to get out of this. But there's nothing like being present. There's nothing like helping other people get what they're looking to do. And there's nothing like time freedom. So that's all I had to share with you guys. I just want to thank you, Mark, for having me. And I'm here to answer any questions if there's any time left.
Oh, yes, we still have a few minutes. And some people are asking, there's one question that is really interesting. It says here, what was the best decision you made? And what was the greatest sacrifice you did in terms of network marketing?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, the best decision I ever made, I think, was to get involved in network marketing, because to me, money wasn't the issue. I was making a good living. So I didn't get involved to get involved. I didn't get involved in networking for the money. I got involved to be present. And in my particular case, it really spelled out to be the best decision, because after my third child, my wife came down with an illness and a disease, and I've been a single parent for most of their lives, and I had to be really present. So that was the best decision I think I've made, was doing that. And what was the second part of the question, Mark?
The second part is actually, what was the greatest sacrifice you did in terms of network marketing?
Well, in terms of greatest sacrifice, I think it's a sacrifice I continue to make every single day. I don't think it was just one particular sacrifice. I think it's a sacrifice you make every day to go out there and lend a hand to people who are in need. And I think today, more than ever, people are looking for that hand. They're looking for the light, looking for somebody to show them the way, that there is a way that they can get out of the challenges they have, whether it be getting out of that consumer debt, being able to pay that rent, being able to replace that income. It's a daily sacrifice that leaders actually put forth every single day.
All right. Thank you very much for those wonderful thoughts. And I think a lot of your listeners really learned a lot from what you have to share with us. And of course, we do hope that next year, may it be virtual or physical, you can also join us again here at Asian Networkers Convention and Expo, Mr. David.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the opportunity this year, and I look forward to next.
Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.